Hi, it's Rosie Cake-Diva, and I promised you that I'd show you how to make these pretty ruffle roses out of buttercream on a cupcake. So here's what you need. The petal tip that I'm using is the Wilton 125. Now I need to show you this because I know some people struggle to get different brands of piping nozzles, and the important thing is this is a petal tip, and you can see it's got a thicker end and a very thin point. That's obviously going to be the little thin end at the top of the petal. Now this particular one is about 1.5 centimeters wide, so it's the Wilton 125, but any equivalent petal tip will do the same job. Now what I need to do is get that into my piping bag. Now what I need to do is talk about the buttercream, because for this particular rose you can see that the edge of the petals is really sort of rough, and the reason that I've done that is because I've used buttercream that's really stiff. So the buttercream I'm using today is my white chocolate buttercream, which actually comes out really stiff until you add some liquid. If you want to see the video on my white chocolate buttercream, just click the link here. I've coloured some of this in a lovely purple colour, and I've kept some of it white. So what I'm going to do is take some of the purple colour and I'm going to line the inside of my bag to make the two-tone effect. Now this is the important thing, where the petal tip is really thin, so that's this end for me, I'm going to put that at the bottom, and that's where I'm going to place some of my coloured buttercream. So I'm just going to smear a line . Then I'm going to use my white buttercream to give me some contrast. And again, you can see how thick that is. And I'm going to spoon it into the bag. A little bit delicate, but it's worth the effort, I promise. So now you can see where the thin end is, I have my purple, and where the thick end is, I have my white. And I'm going to push that down and twist it to give me a little bit of pressure. And with my cupcake, I'm just going to give it a little bit of a topping. This is just so that if I have any spaces when I make my rose, you won't see them. I'm going to start by making a little circle in the centre. Now I'm holding this nozzle with the thick end down the bottom and the thin end at the top, and I'm just piping. You see how stiff that is? That's perfect. And then as I come around in my circle, I'm going to go over and down, and I'm just creating that little centre of the rose. I take my nozzle with the thick bit at the bottom, and I try and keep it a little bit vertical actually. So starting down but bringing it up to the vertical, I just pipe across like that. So you see it's pretty much a straight line across. And as I come to the end, I just flick it out a little bit, that little action just to pull it out. And you can see the ruffles starting there. I'm going to do 3 on this first row round. Now I'm going to do 5 petals, and I'm going to do them in a similar way. I'm now going to do 7 in exactly the same way. And I'm going to do more petals. I'm going to stop counting now because nobody cares. I'm just going to do petals that fill out a little bit, so they're coming a little, my angle is just, my wrist is going down just enough to bring it out a little bit. So now this is where I stop overlapping really, because what I want to see is the whole petal. So I'm just going to use my piping bag. I'm going to go the other way, so the thin end is facing towards me now, and I'm actually pretty horizontal to the cupcake, and I'm just piping. You see that? I've just finished that horrible little edge with a tiny little petal, and I'm just going to do that wherever, there we go. Wherever I see there needs to be a gap filled. And obviously you can use any colours you like. This one's in pink, so I'm going to have a lovely little bouquet when I've finished. I hope you found that helpful. Please subscribe to my channels if you want to see the other videos, and thank you for watching.